All right. Good morning, everyone. America. All right, back at it on a Monday. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Still alive, still kicking. I didn't do a whole lot, I don't think. I mostly just kind of, I stayed. It was a sober weekend. Continuing on with my salad boy life, I have decided to also not booze it up. So I was 100% completely-ish sober from Friday through Sunday. I say ish because I did technically have a beer and a half with dinner on Friday. Does that count? Anyway, I think I did pretty good. But, yeah, so nice little weekend. Football was amazing. I wish I could have stayed up last night and watched that Raiders and Chargers game, but reading about it and seeing the kick at the end, incredible. Absolutely incredible. The Jaguars beating the Colts yesterday. Wild stuff. Great week 18 of NFL action. Oh, there's Jake. You watched all 12 hours. Damn. Yeah, that seems like something you shouldn't do, especially when you're going to wake up nice and early for a morning show. All right, guys. Well, coming up here in about, 5, 6-ish minutes, Jake and I will be going live once again this morning. I'll be going on with our question of the day. Let me throw Jake on camera here. May have to adjust your camera. We have a new guy named Eddie who is in here. You may want to push it back a little bit. There you go. We have a new guy named Eddie. He works for our Spanish station, La Pantera 96.1, and he moved around everything like by 3 inches. So it was just enough to be really annoying when I walked in this morning. Thanks, Eddie. Well, we won't be sharing studios for too long.
Well, yes, I'm fully aware. Fully aware I have a large head. Thank you.
Morning, Andrew. Morning. But, yeah, NFL was crazy yesterday, man. And then, obviously, we had the national championship game tonight.
Gosh, it's been such a crazy couple days of football. That was last night's game. I was literally like, oh, my God, they're going to do it. And we'll talk about it. But, my God, that was insane.
Sean says, I need to go back to sleep, set the coffee pot up to brew automatically in the AM. I forgot to put coffee grounds in it and just poured hot water into my coffee cup. That's kind of an important piece of the puzzle, but I get an easy one to miss.
Best way to make coffee, use coffee.
So obviously I write the show the day before. So, on the show today, I didn't have scheduled a time to talk about Bob Saget passing away, but wow. So if you guys missed it somehow, Bob Saget passed away. It was like officially kind of released last night, probably around 8 o'clock or so.
Has there been an update on it or anything?
I haven't seen an update come through yet, but Bob Saget was found passed away in his hotel room in Orlando. So he did a comedy show at the Ponte Vedra Concert Hall in Jacksonville.
Right.
A couple hours south of us on Saturday night. He put up a Twitter post saying, hey, had an amazing time. Love you guys. See you on my next tour stop. And then they found him about 4 p.m. yesterday, and the news officially broke about 3 or 4 hours after that.
Yeah, it was brutal to see, man. He was great, obviously, but like his shows, but his stand-up was great. I loved hearing him do his stuff.
Bob Saget, 65 years old, passed away.
Yeah, it was
yesterday.
It was tough to see.
Yeah, I mean, and the outpouring of love that you saw online from especially like the close group of comedians that he kind of came up with, his cast members from obviously Full House as well.
John Stamos's tweet was very sad.
Yeah, so it was sad to hear and see the passing of Bob Saget yesterday, but not something we'll really get into on the show today, but I wanted to make mention of it here on the live stream. Not really much to get into other than, saying that he passed. But yeah, Andrew goes, Bob Saget, Betty White, Norm Macdonald.
Yeah. It's been a
lot of people were saying it's like, he's too young. Bob Saget was 65.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was 65.
You know, I mean, that's a pretty good life.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, like if you live to 65 plus, you're not doing too shabby.
Well, I feel like every year we're like, oh man, it's getting worse and worse because people we love more and more. But it's just because we're getting older and we have more connections with more people.
Yeah, I know. It just makes me feel. That makes me feel.
I know.
Jake. God.
I know. It was rough.
All right, guys, we're less than 2 minutes away from jumping on the air for the very first time on the live stream and, of course, for the day. Our question of the day is, what do you miss from the 90s? Jake, what year were you born?
Bob Saget's what I missed from the 90s. I was born in 1990.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did live the full mostly.
Yeah, I still consider myself a 90s kid, even though it was mostly the latter half of the decade.
Right. Well, we'll get into that here in a few minutes. Here's the mouse.
Oh, thank you.
I won't really need it. I do have an answer sheet from what we got on social media on that Word doc right there.
Beautiful.
And we had quite a reaction. I think we had almost 60 comments or so.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
All sorts of stuff. So what we'll do on this first break is I'll jump on. I'll break down a few things. And then I'll go over a couple from what we got on social media. And then obviously we'll go into break.
Right.
Maybe get some stuff here on the stream and stuff. And then we'll start the second break with maybe a thing or two that you may have.
Where my wife grew up.
There you go. All right, guys. We are about 40 seconds away from jumping on the air once again for the first time of the day. Our question of the day is, what do you miss from the 90s? We'll jump into that here in just a minute. Also, it's coming up at 7:30 today. We'll be playing Are You Smarter Than My Friend Trivia. Today, giving away Bon Jovi tickets before they're even on sale, which is kind of exciting. All right, guys, we've got about 15 seconds. We'll be right back. Rock 106.1, Savannah's Rock Station. Welcome to the Marshall and Friends show this morning. Joining me in studio, my friend for the day, Jake Thomson.
Hello.
The afternoon host of Bob 106.9. Good morning, sir.
How's it going?
It's going great, man. Obviously, the weekend was incredible with NFL action, although we got some incredibly sad news late last night.
Yeah.
The passing of Bob Saget. Rest in peace, Danny Tanner.
Yeah.
You know, the guy who shouted from the like the AA meeting from Half Baked.
Right.
Have you ever blanked for cocaine? I watched that clip last night. Just makes me chuckle every single time. But, unfortunately, in case you missed it, Bob Saget passed away in Orlando in his hotel room. No official cause yet, but we will share that information once it does officially become public. All right, let's kick off the show with on a brighter note. Let's get some nostalgia going on the radio this morning, early on a Monday. Our question of the day, which we had a very large reaction to this on our social media.
Yeah.
What do you miss from the 90s? And I just wrote down a small list. And the first thing I thought of my friend Zach growing up. My friend Zach was a kid who got everything, right? He got all the cool stuff, all the video games.
Yeah.
But I miss being impressed by someone who had a 6-disc CD changer in the trunk of their car. In the trunk of their car. Like, I don't know if you actually, I know, Jake, you were born in 1990? I was born in
90, yeah.
Okay, so technically you were alive for the decade of the 90s. I was born in 82. I remember growing up, and this kid had everything. But one day he's like, dude, check this out. And he popped the trunk of his car, and he had this big old subwoofer. Like, his car would be the one that rattled going down the street. He had the sickest 6-disc CD changer.
That's awesome.
The cartridge came out like it was a cartridge of a gun, you know. And you would pack in the CDs.
Pop, 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 put like a revolver.
So, but if you wanted to hear anything other, he would literally have to stop his car
and go out.
It was incredible. And I just remember being so impressed at that point. I'm like, dude, that is the sickest thing I've ever seen in my life. Another thing I miss just in general is how cool malls used to be. Used to, go see the ladies.
I just had a conversation when I went home for Christmas We went driving around, and it was like, oh, that was the mall I hung out at all the time. And there's like 4 stores in there now, and it's depressing.
Yeah, I mean, like even the Oglethorpe Mall here in Savannah, it's still very busy.
Yeah.
And there's still people there. I just don't want to go there because I don't want to hang around with those people.
Yeah,
just because I'm just old.
But it used to be like, oh man, this is the place to be.
That's
go
right.
walk around, have some mall Chinese food.
My girlfriend used to work at the kiosk before I was married. Other girl.
Yeah.
She used to work at like the kiosk in the middle of the mall. She'd be the information center girl.
Yeah.
I would hang out there all the time.
Just hang out at the information center.
Yeah. One more thing that I want to bring up that I miss from the 90s. How about Nickelodeon cartoons like Rocko's Modern Life, Ren and Stimpy, although it's not Nickelodeon, Animaniacs, Earthworm Jim, even the Max from Liquid Television on MTV.
Yeah.
Those are some of my favorite cartoons ever.
X-Men, Power Rangers. I know Power Rangers aren't great, but that was where mine was going when you first brought this question to me. I was like, man, that's what every Saturday morning, bowl of cereal and go.
Man, I miss the 90s cartoons.
So
I don't know
good.
why. They're just, once again, maybe it's nostalgia or maybe it's just that much better.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I honestly think it's both, a little bit of both.
All right, well, let's go ahead and go check out some of our answers from social media. Once again, our question of the day is, what do you miss from the 90s? Feel free to share your stories with us on our live stream. Once again, we are live streaming the show right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Just search The Marshall and Friends Show. And while you're there, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. On our Facebook page, Keith Kelly said this, and I was like, the moment he said it, I was like, oh, Keith Kelly, you. He said, the In Living Color show. It was the alternative to Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
It was like the cool, hipper, more modern Saturday Night Live at the time. I miss In Living Color.
I didn't really watch it a lot because I was very young at the time. So as I got older, my dad and I were going through some of his old VHS tapes of stuff he had recorded, and he had an entire VHS of In Living Color.
Yes.
And it was awesome. And that was my first exposure to it. This was like in 2004. And I'm like, why have I not been watching this for years? It was so
Fire
good.
Marshal Bill.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, just all those amazing characters.
The movie guys, the snaps.
The clown that would just hit people.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name right now. It was incredible stuff.
Homie the clown. Homie don't play that. Homie don't play that.
He don't.
He don't play it.
All right, guys. Well, we'll get to more of your reactions from our question of the day. What do you miss from the 90s? We'll get to that here in just a few. Right now, it's the Foo Fighters. Love Dies Young on Rock 106.1. Good morning. There we go. Push an extra button.
There's too many buttons to push.
So many. Dave says Michael Lang too. Yep, actually I talk about Michael Lang in Marshall's Music News today, Dave.
Oh, perfect. And then good Nickelodeon cartoons, and when MTV was actually music television.
Yeah.
All those channels now I feel like have just completely changed. Like MTV obviously is just ridiculousness and the challenge.
Oh yeah.
That's all they play. And then like Discovery Channel is basically just ghosts. History Channel's World War II and Hitler. And TLC is just fat people and rednecks. That's really all it is.
All right, I'm going to try a phone call here
All
on
right.
the stream. First one in a while.
Let's try it.
Rock 106.1.
Hey, good morning.
Hello?
Hey, good morning.
What's happening?
What's up?
Not much. How are you doing?
Good.
Okay. So I was just calling in for the thing.
Yeah. What do you miss from the 90s?
My virginity.
Yeah, me too.
I could have waited until 2000s and it would have been great. Gave away too early.
We've all been there.
I weirdly feel that too hard.
Literally.
All right, well, thanks for calling in. We appreciate it.
Well, bye, guys.
All right.
All right. Yeah, I don't know why. That's why I haven't really messed with phones too much.
That's weird.
The phones were really terrible there.
Don't know why it's still called MTV. I think MTV is just now a brand. Sort of like KFC.
It's just, it's MTV presents ridiculousness, and it's always interrupted slightly by a random movie or the challenge on Wednesdays.
That was the one thing I thought was weird when I was flipping through TV. Like when I knew everything was changing, but it was like a couple years ago. I went to like CMT and it was playing a movie, which fine, but like it was not a CMT movie. even a little. I can't remember what movie it was, but I'm like, they're playing this on CMT right now. What's going on?
Bill and Ted's
And
Excellent
they played
Adventure.
like the MTV Video Music Awards on like all those stations that are owned by the same people. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I get it, but come on, what are we doing?
Cam goes, and that's the first phone call you take. Yeah, it is. How was it? Did it sound all right?
No.
On your end? For us, it was
Probably not.
terrible.
It's gonna be so much better in about 3 weeks ish when we're in those new studios. I was just in there while Tim Janier was tinkering around the other day. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I've been up there quite a bit this past week, and our new studios are coming along very well.
Yeah.
Very well. I'm excited to finally get up there.
Mm-hmm.
I told Tim, I go, when I do my first show up there, I want you to be there the entire time. He's like, why? I was like, you're on so early. I'm like, because something is not going to work, and I'm going to freak out, and I want you right there next to me.
Yep.
Cam said it sounded fine.
Oh,
okay,
good.
that's good. That's nice.
We're the only ones suffering then.
Good. I'm okay with that. All right, guys. We're playing the Foo Fighters. Got one more song, and then we'll dive into some commercials. After that, we'll come back with the second half of our question of the day. Once again, what do you miss from the 90s? Here, let's talk about some of the things that we probably won't get to here. Robin says, my figure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the 90s, I did weigh a little bit less.
Yeah, a little bit.
Double Run says, no back pains. Ow. You know, I kind of tweaked my back this weekend, and I'm not proud to say this. I feel
like you've been on the verge of a back problem for a while.
It's been,
like you've been teetering on the edge.
I haven't really had any back issues for a while, so it was bound to happen.
Yeah.
But I wound up tweaking my back just a little bit because this weekend I stayed sober. Just trying to stick with salads and living that healthy life. So I drank less than 3 beers the entire weekend.
Okay.
Although I did drink a little bit. I threw out and kind of tweaked my back because I was doing a puzzle.
I'm not going to judge you. Here's why. New Year's Eve, I did a puzzle. My wife and I did a 500-piece puzzle. And I was so sore the next day because we're like, well, let's do it in front of the couch. And we did it on our coffee table. And I was like hunched over trying to do this puzzle the whole time. Yep. And afterwards, I'm like, what the hell is happening?
So I kind of was like hunched over, leaning over, looking at puzzle pieces on Saturday night, probably from like, let's just say 7:30 until 10-ish.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like my back is a little testy.
Yeah.
It's a little testy.
No, I get it.
It's every time I stand up from a relaxed position, I groan type of back pain. Yeah. So that's it. I kind of accidentally hurt myself slightly by doing a puzzle this Saturday, and that's how I know I'm old.
Gotta love it.
Yeah. Good Lord.
Looks like you need to hang out with Dustin. He said his thing that he misses from the 90s is, tell you what I don't miss is the whack-ass brickweed.
Whack-ass brickweed?
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. I'm not a weed guy. So I couldn't tell you, but even though I look like I'm a weed guy, I guess it's just bad weed. I don't know.
Sean says, dude, my wife and I did a puzzle on New Year's Eve, 1,000 pieces. Then we went to the bar.
Wow.
Yo, with that, did you finish it? Because my wife and I,
1,000 pieces are tough.
We do. It takes us like weeks to do a puzzle. Are we dumb?
We knocked out a 500 piece that night, but then I found this guy on TikTok. Yes, I'm on TikTok. I know it's annoying. It's a 40,000 piece puzzle. This thing is like 20 feet by 9 feet when completed. It's insane. He's the puzzle guy. He like loves puzzles. That's his deal. It's crazy.
Pass. Forever
know, right?
pass. All right. Suck it up, Buttercup. Take some leave and battle through the show. I have been. I have been.
That's a good one too. There's some good answers from these people.
Now we've got when we come back, we could kick off with yours. I was gonna do Donald's.
Okay, yeah, I got Steve's. I was gonna talk a little bit about Steve's, and then Sebastian or is it David?
Morning, Red. How's it going, buddy? Yeah, a lot of people from, once again, our question of the day is, what do you miss from the 90s? Chris, Nicole, a bunch of people just said the music.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people
miss the music. I get that. That's my favorite. When I am listening to like music on my own, it's usually 90s, like alternative stuff.
Mm-hmm. Greg says, you hurt your back doing a puzzle. You never, ever get to call me old again.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
Honestly, I don't know how I did it. It was crazy, man. I woke up yesterday morning, and I'm like, what the hell is up with my back? I didn't do anything.
I think it's just an uncomfortable position to be in and staying in it for as long. And then, because for me, I get really I forget how I'm feeling. I'm focused on what I'm doing. Same thing when I play video games. I can be sitting in a terrible position and not realize it because I'm so focused on what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then after about an hour, I'm like, the hell is wrong with me?
Eric Hodges also said no back pain on the on our thing. So, Charles, you're on the chat this morning. Charles actually chimed in on the Marshall and Friends Facebook page. He said, wearing a size 60 extra athletic coat and 38-inch waist pants, 15% body fat, and strong enough to carry a truck up a hill. I think Charles was just saying how beefy and strong he was.
Did you get exposed to gamma radiation carrying trucks up a hill? What is going on there?
Speaking of Greg, who just chimed in on the chat as well, he said, I miss from the 90s his hair.
Yeah.
I'm sure you just left it in that decade. I'm sure it'll come back eventually. A lot of people just say, I miss being a kid. Caitlin Breen just says, not paying bills. Yes.
Yeah.
Bobby says, privacy, 100%. And a lot of people actually just brought up the fact of flip phones. Like,
that's what I want to talk about.
Do we honestly?
We will talk about
Okay.
This,
all right.
Because I have thoughts.
Sebastian with the saddest comment. I had a group of best friends that there was about 5 of us, and man, I sure miss my friends.
Yeah.
Jesus, Sebastian, what happened? Anyway, lots of great answers. Thanks for everyone for chiming in once again on the question of the day. We'll get to the second half of that here in just a little bit.
Oh man, there's a lot. This is probably the most comments I've seen on a post like this so far.
Yeah, it's nostalgia hit hard yesterday, and I think within the first hour we had like 30 plus comments. We wound up having 60 plus comments just on that post alone. Which getting that out of Facebook because they smash down everything you post anyway is pretty damn good.
Yep.
So coming up on the show today, we'll get into some Are You Smarter Than My Friend trivia for Bon Jovi tickets. Same thing as always. You'll text in for your chance to be played for. Today, once again, giving away Bon Jovi tickets. In the 8 o'clock hour, we'll be going over this study that we found about passing gas. So we'll do that, and then we'll bring back the Wheel of Florida, which I have right above here.
Yeah. I think this is going to be fun. There's a lot of good stuff to talk about.
Yeah, so we'll jump into the Wheel of Florida to kind of wrap up the live stream today. Got a couple stories. Got to see if the wheel can figure out whether these stories are from Florida or not. But the stories are outstanding. Once I found them yesterday, I was like, got to bring back the Wheel of Florida.
I do a similar thing on my show. How much time we got?
We got tons of time.
Okay. So I do a similar thing on my show. It's Florida or not Florida. I tell a story and then give you a second to figure out if it was actually from Florida or not. And recently, we made that game because I was like, is this happening from Florida or not Florida? It was actually from Pooler. It was I don't know if you saw this last week, but the manhole cover stories.
My wife brought that up to me. Explain the manhole.
So basically, police are looking for someone who stole 30 manhole covers.
Why? What do you do with that many manhole covers?
Couple questions. One, what do you do with them?
Yeah.
Why do you need them? How do you steal them without someone noticing you're stealing manhole covers? So I was very confused. But yeah, this was I don't know. I don't know if there's an update because I haven't seen much since. But yeah, it was literally like police are like, if you know anything, because someone saw this somewhere.
Morning, Gibby. I mean, so once again, what do you do with 30 manhole covers?
Unless you're selling them for scrap.
Melt them down?
That's my only thing I can think of.
Is it part of a SCAD?
Do you guys have anything?
Are they part of a SCAD art project that we don't know about?
Someone's going to unveil it down on Broughton Street and just be like, bing, here you go.
Rhett says scrap metal is valuable. You scrap them.
Well, I get that, but how do you, those things are not light.
No. I'm not a Ninja Turtle. I can't just swing off.
Right.
swing off a manhole cover like that. But I can't believe 30 were stolen from the Pooler area. Right?
If it was back in the 90s, I would expect someone to be able to carry it up the hill with their truck. But that's a whole nother thing.
Rhett says original NES games.
Yeah.
Yes. He goes Excite Bike, Ghosts and Goblins, Contra. Dude, Contra password.
So here's the big negative for me when I was growing up with video games. And I kind of was always on like the opposite of what all the cool games were.
Okay.
Like my mom and dad had the original NES.
Yeah.
And then after I was born, we upgraded to the Sega Genesis, which I loved playing Sega, Mortal Kombat, Sonic. It was all on there. It was great. But everyone was playing Nintendo. And then I had a PlayStation, and I never had an N64. Like that was one of the more brutal ones. But my cousins did, so it was like. And then I played Xbox, the original Xbox, instead of the original PS or the PS2.
You didn't play any of the popular systems. Like
no, I was kind of like always off to the side a little bit. I mean, I always played all the good. I've gone back and played most of them.
Yeah. That
people tell me I need to go back and play. But I was an Xbox guy for years. Now I'm finally a PlayStation guy.
Well, welcome to the PlayStation Fold.
Wonderful.
Gibby, good morning, my friend. Glad to see you there. He goes, if they're wrought metal, you can scrap them. But if it's cast, they're trash. It's a good life lesson to live by right there. That's why we need Gibby on this show.
Mm-hmm. If anyone's an expert on stealing manhole covers,
wait a minute. Was it Gibby? All right, guys. I got 2 minutes jamming some immigrant song right now on Rock 106.1. Then we're going back on with the second half of our question of the day. And then we'll dive into some trivia after that. Once again, our question of the day is, what do you miss from the 90s? Feel free to chime in and let us know by telling us your stories on the stream. You can also text us at 1-800-394-1061.
Remind me when we get another break soon. I've got a fun update for you about me and my childhood. Do you remember? I've told you about my double vision, which I'll explain on the stream. There's a major update on the origin story of my double vision.
Okay.
I'll explain after.
Find out how
it's going to take a couple minutes to kind of loop everybody else in. So
we're going to find out how Jake became Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's my superpower. Is slightly seeing two of Marshall if I tilt my head.
Gibby says, I plead the fifth. Greg says, pooler cops only worry about speeders on I-16 unless you have out-of-state tags and are speeding with manhole covers. You're safe. Dave says, brass is the best scrap metal pay-wise, or copper. Actually, I believe that. I guess so. The better question is, what are manhole covers made out of? They're not brass or copper, right? They're just.
I'm
guessing they're wrought iron because that's why they're so damn heavy.
Yeah, they're very heavy.
Yeah, at least that's what I don't know. I haven't been lifting sewer. Caps.
Well, I'm just gonna say, if you hurt your back doing a puzzle, probably not a good idea for you to lift.
I definitely wasn't the guy who stole 30
We
caps.
know you're innocent.
Thank God. Clear to that, officer.
Yeah.
The huge amount of drugs over here?
Right.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Wait, am I not supposed to say that?
That's how they should interrogate people. Lift that 15-pound dumbbell. Can you do that easily? Okay, you might be our guy.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. Rock 106.1, Savannah's Rock Station. Welcome to the Marshall and Friends show this morning with my friend joining me in studio for our live stream, Jake Thomson, the afternoon host of Bob 106.9.
What's up, man?
Well, thanks for joining us this morning. Thanks for being my friend. And, of course, I highly recommend everyone, if you are awake in the afternoon time, right around 3 o'clock,
I'm barely awake there.
You should listen to Jake Thomson.
I think that's a great idea.
Now, you can also hang with us here on the live stream. We do live stream the show every single weekday from 7 until 9. You can find out what happens when we're off the air. We talk about superpowers and get some stuff that we can't quite get to on the air. You can watch us right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Just search the Marshall and Friends show. And make sure to like, follow, and subscribe while you're there. Well, right now, it is our question of the day. What do you miss from the 90s? Jake, I think you have a story for us.
Yeah, so for me, it was mostly, we kind of talked about it a little bit. The first thing when I saw this question was I immediately thought of the cartoons and the things I used to watch when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
I still kind of do. As you know, I collect Power Ranger toys. I got a huge so I still have that connection there.
Yeah.
But one thing that I was kind of like, I was upset when I saw these answers because I was like, I never really got to experience that. This was interesting from Haley. She said, life before social media. And I was like, I get that. I never really, because so let's see, I had MySpace when I was in middle school. So my life before social media was very minimal.
Shows you how old I am. I was hooking up on MySpace.
There you go.
What's up,
See,
ladies?
there
All
it
the
is.
ladies I talked to on MySpace. You were in my top 8.
I one time I knew a girl that really liked the band Senses Fail, and so I changed my MySpace song to Senses Fail, hoping she would notice me.
Sick.
She did not. Anyway, but it was like, I think because what I liked about it was like, everyone's always had crazy people in their lives, and you have those bananas people that just have the craziest opinions, but you didn't know about it usually unless they were like really crazy. But now everybody just says whatever they want all the time, and it's a bit much sometimes. The other one that I thought was interesting that you were kind of confused about was flip phones.
Yeah, I mean, like, why do we want flip? Like, people talked about the nostalgia of flip phones and maybe what they miss from them. Why do we miss flip phones at all?
I miss one thing about the flip phones, and that's the flip. That's the only thing I miss. I want all the same. I don't like the new ones because you can't. The reason you had the flip phone was when you had old style phones where you would talk, you could hang up aggressively.
Right.
You couldn't do that with like as cell phones came out. You can't push the button hard. But when you have a flip phone, you can go, you son of a, and like close it really hard and be like, I hate you, and close the flip phone. And it was so, it's like that was the moment.
Yeah, it was
perfect.
The chef's kiss at the end of the conversation.
And now it was like you have to push the button or you have to throw it, and you don't want to throw it, you'll break it. So I do miss the flip.
I guess there is something slightly satisfying about that, but also I think I broke a couple phones trying to do that.
Yeah.
And like you do it too cool and it just flies out of your hand. And you actually throw your phone on the ground.
Yep,
not cool. All right. Well, once again, our question of the day is: what do you miss from the '90s? Donald chimed in on our social media. He goes, "Renting a game from Blockbuster, ordering a pizza, and playing all night."
That makes me so happy. Just the thought of that is like it brings back such joy.
It was a lot of work from stuff we can just honestly, we don't even have to leave the house to make any of that stuff happen. That's a lot of work. But the nostalgia of like going to the store, being aggravated that your first or second choice of whatever game you're going to rent or whatever movie you're going to rent wasn't there, and just settling on something, ordering a pizza, picking it up because you don't want to pay delivery costs, and doing that, still incredible.
And it's, nowadays we just sit and we like binge stuff so much, but like you're just kind of like, I'm just lazy and I'm a piece of trash. We're sitting here all weekend and watching this entire show. But back in the day when you had to rent the stuff from Blockbuster or whatever, well, you only had it for 3 days and you rented 2 movies, and if you don't, you're gonna it's a waste of money at that point. So we have to do this, and you don't feel as bad. At least that was my.
And it was also the thrill of getting the video game or movie back just before you had to.
Yeah,
like rushing. Oh, I forgot to rewind it. Get back to the house.
You know what I loved? We had a rewind machine at my house, and I loved rewinding. I mean, I was a lot younger then, but I was just like, I'll rewind everything, and we had the separate thing that would rewind.
Yeah, we had one too. It sounded like a lawnmower.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for chiming in for our question of the day. What do you miss from the 90s? You can continue the conversation on our live stream. Also, hit us up via text at 1-800-394-1061. Coming up here in just a few minutes, going to hook you guys up with some tickets to go check out Bon Jovi. Talking about nostalgia. Coming up here in just a little bit with Are You Smarter Than My Friend trivia. Right now, Five Finger Death Punch. Darkness Settles In on the Marshall and Friends Show on Rock 106.1.
Nice. That was good. You nailed that one.
Thanks. Tried to squeeze it in.
That post perfect.
Yeah, I almost hit the post. Maybe stepped over it just a tick.
It's all right. I'm gonna minimize that. God, I look like hell today. More than usual, I should say. So, all right, we got some time. I'm gonna tell this quick story real fast.
Yeah, we got 8 minutes.
Okay, so let me explain on the chat if you're filling in. I have vertical double vision. If you look, I'm kind of have my head tilted right now, and it's because if I don't, then I like tilt this way, and then my eyes go crazy, right? So for years I've had this. That's why I couldn't hit a baseball and all that stuff. You know this story. I've told you this story before. So for years I had assumed that the reason why I had this was when I was younger, I was crawling out of my grandfather's car and I tripped and fell and I landed literally eye first on the old school emergency brake that you pull up in the middle of the car. Eye first on there. So, and I had a black eye, went as a pirate that year for Halloween because I had the big black eye. We just kind of assumed that was the reason why. So when I went home for Christmas, my mom and dad had all this stuff laid out and for me, like that because they had moved recently, so they had finally gone through boxes.
They want you to get your stuff out of their house,
basically. But one of the things they had was a collection of my medical records from when I was a baby.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, whatever. And I just happened to be like thumbing through it, and I'm like, what is this? This is interesting, and seeing it because I went to the hospital a lot when I was a kid. I was a very injury-prone child, and I found one thing from June of 1995. And it was a letter from a specialist to my pediatrician that said, thank you for recommending Jacob to us. They were like, his mom said he slipped on the stairs and fell and hit his head. And he didn't lose consciousness, but later that evening, he started to complain of double vision. And then they were like, we got to keep an eye because he's still developing, but he's got some sort of fancy medical word that I Googled and means that there's a paralysis of the eye muscle. And then they were like, if we don't fix this, it could evolve into this.
Right.
And that turns into lazy eye. So luckily I don't have a lazy eye, but like if I turn my head, it becomes a little bit lazy. So it wasn't that. It was the fall down the stairs. And I called my mom. I'm like, do you remember this? And she's like, I have no recollection of you falling down the stairs. And I was like, so did you hit me? And you just told people I fell down the stairs? What happened? But that was the origin of this crazy situation.
So your mom's just a terrible parent.
Yeah, no, she did all right. She did all right. But no, yeah, it was it was falling down the stairs and whacking my head was what did it and just whacked my eye loose, I guess, paralyzed one of my eye muscles in the back of my eye.
Oh.
And so now that's why I have to tilt my head and make my world even.
Andrew goes, I know all about the lazy eye. Sean says, Marshall, I must thank you. One of my new favorite things to do when my wife, Amanda, starts to annoy me, I now call her Jen.
I don't get that one. Do I get that?
So we got a chance to meet up with Sean. Sorry, so many names. It's Sean for some beers at Double Asia Brewing Company just before Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if I ever officially met Sean's wife before, but I swear to God her name was Jen. I don't know why. Jen. I just thought it was not Jen. It's Amanda. So I apologized. I stuck my foot in my mouth. Happens a lot, so it's not a big deal to me. But yeah, that definitely happened.
That's happened to me one time. Not me personally, but like I grew up with a kid, and his name was Jordan, but someone thought his name was George, and just called him George one day, and that stuck to the point where Jordan was George to everyone in the school for the rest of the years. Teachers, administrators, his own cousins started calling him George.
Oh,
it was weird.
Well, of course,
George was a good dude though.
All right, we're actually just for time's sake, we're gonna go back on the air in 20 seconds.
Okay.
Rock 106.1, Savannah's Rock Station. Welcome to the Marshall and Friends show. What did you not like?
It was creepy.
Welcome to Rock 106.1. We're slightly creepy here,
a little bit.
All right, so here's the deal. Coming up in just a little bit, we are going to play ourselves some Are You Smarter Than My Friend trivia. It's your chance to win some cool prizes just by texting us. And you are going to be put to task today, Jake.
Yeah.
7 questions, 60 seconds.
I'm ready.
And what people need to do is text us right now, 1-800-394-1061, with their name and a number between 1 and 7. That number is going to indicate how many questions you think Jake is going to get right out of 7. And as long as you are within the number range of like 3. So we'll give you the number you say and then a number on each side of it. You will win tickets to go check out, just announced on Friday, ladies and gentlemen, Bon Jovi is coming to Savannah for the Bon Jovi 2022 tour. Tickets go on sale this coming Friday at 10 a.m., and he's going to be here on Wednesday, April 13th, playing at the brand new End Market Arena.
They're bringing in so many good acts. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, actually the very first show ever at End Market Arena is this Friday. Yep. Riley Green is the country artist that's going to be there, but yeah, Bon Jovi's coming. So hopefully we get some really cool rock acts coming through the brand new End Market Arena here.
They're impressing me so far. Got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, hopefully in the next few weeks. But right now, your chance to win some Bon Jovi tickets. Just text us your first name and a number between 1 and 7 for your chance to win. We'll play for one of you. Coming up next on the Marshall and Friends show on Rock 106.1. There it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, my brain's running slow too, I guess.
That's all right.
All right, let me grab the trivia here. We had people texting in early this morning to be a part of trivia, so
everybody wants those Bon Jovi tickets, man.
You know, you can make fun of Bon Jovi, like, oh, freaking Bon Jovi, man.
They're so much fun.
Dude, they're ridiculous.
Yeah. And you need bands like that some people are gonna be like, man, they're just commercial, but they're fun. That's all that matters. Have a good time at the show.
All right. So we'll play some trivia. Then after that, this past Friday was National Passing Gas Day. Was National Passing Gas Day. What's wrong?
We'll get into it a little bit, but all that stuff, it makes me extremely uncomfortable. We can jump into it more. I was reading some of those statistics where people are like, oh, yeah, we're cool with this. And I'm like, you people are nuts. Like, this is not okay.
But, this past Friday was National Passing Gas Day. So we found a new poll where people were asked 5 different questions. So I'm just going to actually just ask Jake those questions. Mm-hmm. We'll go over those at top the 8 o'clock hour. And
I have lots of thoughts.
At the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour, we'll play Wheel of Florida, the return of it, the first time we've brought it back since, the show was called The Cotter and Marshall
R.I.P.
Show. He's still alive, to my knowledge. Yeah, I think I talked to him over the weekend. I'm not.
Yeah, I actually texted him a little bit too. I thought, maybe since we don't talk to each other as much, like I'd get more out of him when I text him, but I still just get a lot of cool. Still just about all I get from him sometimes.
Cotter's a simple man.
He really is.
Simple-minded.
I honestly think that if I could put a number on it, I would say about 88% of the text messages I get from him are cool.
Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah. That's about it.
Andrew says, when does the new Jack White album come out? I love the new track. It comes out in April. There's a new album in April, then there's a new album in July. There is 2 new albums.
He's got 2 coming
Jack
out this
White,
year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Here, let me find the exact day. I think it's April 12th.
Yeah, I heard that song because I filled in on Saturday for some people who were a little under the weather, and I actually heard that song for the first time, and it's awesome. I mean, what else do you expect from Jack White? But, I mean, it was really good.
Yeah, so April 8th is actually the date on the first album, which is called Fear of the Dawn, and then Entering Heaven Alive is coming out on July 22nd. I'm very excited about seeing Jack White. He's going to be performing at the High Water Music Festival in Charleston at the very end of April.
I thought he was in Atlanta. I guess I got him mixed up. Is he in Atlanta too, or am I crazy?
You're crazy.
Okay. That checks out. It's all the years are starting to run together since I've been here. Where I'm like, oh, they played last year at this festival. They're like, no, that was like 4 years ago. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah. Sean says, all right, Horde, I got to head to work. I'll be back on as soon as I get logged into work. All right, man.
Hurry up.
We'll see you in a minute. It's been a nice, very chill Monday on the live stream. Thanks for everyone who's chimed in. Once again, playing some trivia up next. If you haven't done so already, 1-800-394-1061. Go ahead and text us your first name and number between 1 and 7. We've got 7 questions to ask Jake today. 2 of them are multiple choice.
Oh, that's good. That's helpful. I feel like I've had a good showing. I not to be rude to any of your other friends that have been on the show. Mm-hmm. I feel as though I'm probably in the top tier of trivia contestants.
Yeah, you've always done. You've performed very well.
Yeah,
Stacy's done very good, and Mac has been horrific. I love Mac, but Mac does not deal well under pressure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And 7 questions in 60 seconds. It gets her. It gets her really good.
Yeah. Saw a little bit with Jeremy hanging out the other day. I'm excited for his new brewery, man. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so Jeremy, who was on with us Friday, he's got a brand new brewery opening over on it's like Drayton. It's right behind like the Savannah Market, so it's like Abercorn and Drayton, kind of like right behind that gas station.
It's going to be
there.
A perfect spot.
Yeah, so it's going to be great.
That whole area, you can just hit a bunch of breweries and head over. It's going to be that whole chunk. When I moved here, people were like, "Don't ever go there." And now it's like,
yard,
it's great, man. It's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're going to be able to go like, what is it? Two Tides, Hopatomica, and the Underdog Brewing Company are going to be all within like less than a mile of one another. That would be a day. Let's see. Gibby says, "Yeah, chill. Work as productivity goes is slow going. This. Yeah, it is. It just feels like a slow Monday for everyone.
I think it's kind of. I think with if you're any sort of football fan, the exhaustion of the chaos yesterday, which I was so happy that the Bengals, who I am a fan of, clinched last week because I got to enjoy the chaos that was yesterday. Because if they did not clinch, I would have been so paranoid and stressed out the whole time. But I loved it. I loved every second of it. I hated that it ended with the Steelers getting into the playoffs again.
Yeah.
Because anyway, I know Cam was probably happy about that if he's still watching. But no, it was great. And then of course you get done, you're like exhausted. And then you still have the national championship tonight. So I know everybody here in Georgia just doesn't care about anything today.
Yeah,
today might as well just be a national day or a state day off, you know?
Yeah, I wanted to get the big guy on today to talk about the national championship game because he's in Indianapolis right now.
Yeah, he's actually there right now.
He's like doing live reports all this morning.
Yeah,
he's been up since
he's field anchoring, as they call it. So he's literally anchoring the morning news from Indianapolis. It's pretty impressive.
Him and I think Riley, who's the other.
Is Amy's up there with him.
Amy's up there.
Yeah.
Okay, Amy's up there with him. Yeah, he's busy.
Yeah, it's cold up there right now too. I saw a few. Josh Patterson, who's a buddy of mine. He's up in Indy right now, and they were doing the song. I apologize. I'm not a Georgia fan, but the song with the who's that coming down the track? Mean Machine, Red and Black, whatever that is. Like the song chant they have. Someone's gonna like come here and literally punch me in the face for not knowing
Probably.
that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know what either it means either.
So they posted a video of them, like a bunch of people. I've seen videos of planes, people singing it. He was in a bar last night, and they were just like, there was one table of drunk Georgia fans, and then he was at the bar with his wife, and everyone else in there was just like, shut up. They were so over it.
Can't wait for these Georgia people to leave our incredible town of Indianapolis, Indiana.
I will say this. I will say this in defense of Indianapolis. I grew up in Cincinnati, and my buddy got married, and we were 23, and we really didn't have a whole lot of money to go anywhere fancy. We just spent a weekend in Indianapolis. It was pretty awesome. It was a fun time. It's an interesting city. It's similar to Cincinnati, where I feel like a lot of people aren't going to be like, oh, I'm going out of my way to go here. But if you end up there, it's actually a lot of fun.
I was in Indianapolis once. once. And it was to see a Kevin Smith show, and I drove in and then I drove home.
Yeah.
It was just enough.
We there was at that evening there were 5 of us, and 2 of the guys, myself and another dude, we had tasks to accomplish, so we were out a little longer than the other guys. They all went home, and we kind of spent the evening a little out there. Went to where these people lived, and it was like a mile and a half outside of the city, and we walked because this was before like Uber was a thing. And we're walking back to downtown. We're still in our clothes from the night before, a dress shirt, and these ladies that are like 70 are in like their walking outfits and their walking sticks, and they're like, "Oh, good morning, boys!" Like, this is obviously not morning for us. We are exhausted. Why are you being mean? They're so loud.
So you're doing the walk of shame back into town.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm honestly surprised I survived that trip where we walked just haphazardly. No, it was bad. It was a bad day.
Sounds like
it. It was there was a lady that I was hanging out with, and I had never been in that situation before because I had recently just broken up with like my first like serious girlfriend. And so like I had never been in a situation like that, and I didn't know how to handle it and how to play it at the end. So I'm like, I was still trying to get my ex-girlfriend back. So I was like, do I give her my number? Do I ask her? What do I do? So I literally, it's like, I pulled up her phone, and she was on Twitter, and I found my page. I'm like, here, follow me. And then I left.
Wow.
She didn't follow me.
The classic follow me.
It was bad.
Can't believe you didn't get laid that night. That's crazy.
I know,
crazy
right?
that happened. That didn't happen to you.
I was an amateur. I had no game at that point.
Surprised all the girls just didn't drop their pants at that exact moment. Red says Tim loves to. Yeah, he does. Jeremy needs to create a new Rock 106.1 beer when he opens. Yeah, Jeremy wants to do a ton of stuff with us. Yeah. I think he's going to have us out for the grand opening too, which is very cool.
I will be joining you, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. All right.
Because that is going to be fun. That's gonna he's everything he's ever put together. I've enjoyed. So.
Yeah. Holly says, looking forward to the game tonight. Roll Tide. I wish I could say I'm going to be awake for most of it. I'm going to try to watch the first half, or at least some of the first half.
It depends on how quickly I can get home this afternoon and take a nap. Because I stayed up late watching that Chargers-Raiders game, which was that was the most into a football game that didn't involve one of my teams I've ever been.
Yeah, you had a real tough day last night watching all that football.
Yeah, it was. No, I mean, it was great. But like honestly, I've never been into a game as much as I was that one last night because I was wanting so hard for that tie to happen because it was like the odds of all that playing out were like minuscule, and then the Jags just.
Well, did you hear what happened after the game last night? Between Austin Eckler and the Raiders player?
There rumors, they were like, we were going for the tie, and then homeboy called the timeout. I don't know why he did that. I was like, I don't know either.
Yeah, so Austin Eckler, who's the running back for the Chargers, after the game was over, was caught on video and audio asking a Raiders player if they were going to go for the tie, and he said, we actually were, but you guys called that timeout. We decided it gave us enough time to think, you know what, heck for it. Let's just go for it.
Yeah.
And they did, and the Raiders scored a 47-yard field goal and actually wound up winning that game, which is an incredible game. I sadly did not watch any of it.
It's all right. I mean, but it was really fun. It was really fun to watch because it was improbable because you're sitting there the whole time like, okay, now they have like a 17-point or it's like an 18-point lead, a weird number that's not easy to get. There's no way they're going to come back and tie it. They came back and tie it. Justin Herbert hit on multiple fourth downs. It was crazy. Like I'm literally sitting there going, this is not happening right now. This is so insane.
I saw the highlights when I woke up this morning. Crazy, crazy stuff. All right, guys, we're about 30 seconds away before we jump into trivia. Earth, Wind, and Fire. What? Sorry, crazy stuff happening on the chat. That's why you need to come and hang and talk. All right, guys, we will be right back on the air with Are You Smarter Than My Friend Trivia. Rock 106.1, Savannah's Rock Station. Welcome to the Marshall and Friends show this morning with my friend joining me in studio, Jake Thomson of Bob 106.9 is the afternoon host. Now, don't forget, we are live streaming the show at this very moment. Every single weekday morning from 7 until 9, we do that. So make sure to find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Just search the Marshall and Friends show and make sure to like, follow, and subscribe while you're there. Right now, it's time to play Are You Smarter Than My Friend Trivia. 7 questions in 60 seconds. Today, Jake, you are going to be playing for Gibby. Gibby texted in, and he thought he's going high. He said 6. So you have to get 5+ for Gibby to win Bon Jovi tickets. Once again, Are You Smarter Than My Friend Trivia? Gibby chose that you're going to get 6 correct. We give him a number on each side of that to make it fair. So
every other time I've done this has been lowballed.
He's got a 3-number range, so he's got 5, 6, and 7. So you have to get 5+ for him to score Bon Jovi tickets. That was just announced this past Friday. Bon Jovi is coming to the brand new End Market Arena on Wednesday, April 13th. Tickets are officially on sale this coming Friday at 10 a.m. If you want more details on the show, hit up our website, rock1061.com. With all that being said, let's dive right into trivia. Are you ready?
I guess. Let's do it.
All right. Time begins after I ask the first question. Who made the song A Boy Named Sue popular in 1969?
Johnny Cash.
That is correct. What popular brand of soup was introduced in 1897?
I'm going to guess Campbell's.
That is correct.
Okay.
Question number 3. What sport is the focus of the movie Bend It Like Beckham?
Soccer.
That is correct. 3 for 3. Question number 4 is multiple choice. How many possible first moves are there in chess? 20, 25, or 40?
So there's 10 across.
He's doing math.
Give me the options again?
20, 25, or 40?
10. It's 20. 25.
Incorrect. Question number 5. What country is the original home of Bacardi rum?
Oh. Pass. Can I come back to it?
Question number 6 is multiple choice. What year was the construction of the Eiffel Tower completed? 1889, 1890, or 1895?
1890.
That is incorrect. Question number 7. What musician sang the song Save Tonight?
That was Eagle Eye Cherry.
That is correct. All right, you need this last one.
Oh, man.
The one you passed on, which is 2 back. There it is. What country is the original home of Bacardi rum? You have to get this correct for Gibby to score Bon Jovi tickets.
Give me a second. Hold on. Okay.
Running out of time. 3, 2, 1.
Bahamas. I don't know.
Incorrect. Gibby, not today, my friend. Jake got 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 7 correct.
Can we address one? Give me these answers, please.
We will
what
go
was
over
the
the
Bacardi
answers.
one first.
We'll get to that here in a second. Let's go in order before I mess this up. Who made the song "A Boy Named Sue" popular in 1969? That is Johnny Cash. What popular brand of soup was introduced in 1897? That'd be Campbell's Soup. What sport is the focus of Bend It Like Beckham? That is soccer.
It's only 8 across.
How many possible first moves are there in chess? 20.
There's only 8 across.
What country is the original home of Bacardi rum? That would be Cuba.
I knew it was in the Caribbean.
What year was the construction of the Eiffel Tower completed? 1889. And what musician sang the song "Save Tonight"? That is Eagle Eye Cherry. Sorry, Gibby, not today, but tomorrow another chance for someone to win Bon Jovi tickets over at the brand new End Market Arena. Coming up next, we'll talk about gas and passing it. That's coming up on the Marshall and Friends Show on Rock 106.1. Jake, you son of a bitch.
There's only 8 pieces. I was thinking 10 for some reason.
Uh-huh.
Did you come up with those multiple choices? Because that was chaos what you did there.
What do you mean?
Because I knew, okay, there's 8 pieces across. The pawns can go 1 or 2 spots, and then you had the 2 knights that could go to 2. So I knew that was 4, and then I said 8, 10 instead of 8. Son of a
Andrew goes yelling at my screen. Cuba!
I'm sorry.
Man. Well, sorry, Gibby. I gave you a shot there.
I owe you a beer, Gibby.
I thought Jake was really going to pull that one out. Jake has never lost.
I haven't
for someone.
I haven't. I did once intentionally, or no, not intentionally, but
you held back,
yeah,
so you
held
could
back,
win. Yeah. Holly gave Gibby a sympathy sorry.
Man, I'm so mad about that chess question. Like that Eiffel Tower one, there was a complete guess. The chess question, I knew it was something in the Caribbean for the Bacardi. I just couldn't think of.
Right. I probably wouldn't have done as well.
And that chess, I had the right idea. I just miscounted. Damn.
All right, guys. Once again, we'll be playing for Bon Jovi tickets all week long. Pretty exciting stuff. That show is April 13th, a Wednesday. I know we don't really jam any Bon Jovi here on the radio station, but look, tons of people love Bon Jovi.
That's going to eat me up all day. So mad about that question.
I'm not going to get any sleep today. I hate myself too hard to sleep.
You're going to come to my house. There's going to be like Sharpie scrawled on the wall of like a chessboard. Like, 8.
Every other open space just says Cuba.
Right.
You're going to look like that meme of Charlie from Always Sunny.
Pepe Sylvia.
Rhett goes, no whammies. Jake hit a whammy.
I definitely hit a whammy. Anyway. All right.
Top of the 8 o'clock hour, we are going to be playing, or excuse me, not playing, but we're going to be talking about National Pass Gas Day. An interesting national holiday, but they actually found a poll in regards to this and 5 questions they asked people. So what I thought we would do, Jake, is we'll break it down. We'll ask a question or two, and then we'll ask the rest of the questions on our second break of the 8 o'clock hour. And I want you to honestly answer these questions to the best of your ability.
I will. It's because I actually noticed that on Friday, and I talked about it in my show on Friday. Because like I we're getting out of hand with these national blank days, I think. And this is definitely one of them. I thought maybe it was like they do it to like bring awareness for like colon cancer or something. No, it's not. It's nothing. There's no fanciness behind it.
Yeah, it's like National Donut Day or National like Pet a Rock Day or something.
Yeah, Donut Day, cool. Coffee Day, got it. Like that makes sense. This one was weird.
Yeah. One second. Oh, so I was thinking about it. How about this? I will do a Torture Tuesday next time you're on the show.
Okay.
Or Torture whatever day you're on.
Yeah.
If you can accurately tell me the score of tonight's national championship game.
Like 100% accurate.
If you are 100% accurate, if you can nail down the exact score of the game, you don't have to tell me even who wins.
Okay.
Just the score. If you could just tell me the score of tonight's game.
And you don't want a combined score. You want like this to this.
Yes.
Okay.
Give me this to this.
Okay.
If you can accurately describe and tell me the score of tonight's game, you don't have to tell me who wins.
Okay.
But it better be Georgia. I will do a torturous event for everyone here on the show.
Okay. When do I have to tell you? right now?
By the end of the show on the live stream.
Okay.
And then we'll write it down if you're over here on the marker
Okay.
board.
All right, let me think.
But I've been thinking about a lot because you and I were talking about the national championship game last Monday.
Last Monday, yeah.
Georgia has a 2.5 point spread according to MGM Bet.
Which shocks me still, but I mean, so a lot of lines that I see that come through out of Vegas make me scratch my head. But that one was kind of shocking. I mean, I think Georgia's going to play a lot better than they did in the SEC championship game. But,
yeah, it'll be interesting. I think it could be incredibly one-sided this game. Cam says 28-24 Georgia.
That's a little high for me.
You think it'll be lower scoring than that?
I think so.
These are college kids. What was the score of the SEC championship game?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Let me look it up real quick.
Here's what I worry about. Nothing against the kid. Seems like a real nice fella.
You're talking about Stetson Bennett, aren't you?
Stetson Bennett. I don't know how he will match up with that defense. Now, granted, he played great against Michigan, but then it's like, has Michigan been terrible all year? I mean, I don't know. I have a Harbaugh.
So the score of that Bama Georgia game was 41-24. There was almost 70 points. There was 65 points scored.
That was the most shocking thing, is because up to that point, there were only two teams that had scored multiple times on Georgia all year, I think, if I remember right. But then Alabama just went nuts. And then it comes down to, who do I trust more as a coach? It's sort of like Bill Belichick going up against anybody, regardless of how good the other team is. You're kind of like, it's Bill Belichick. He'll find a way to win. And it's similar with Nick Saban. Nick Saban's like the Bill Belichick of college. So I don't know. I'll think on it. I'll get you by the end of the day. I think I'm leaning towards a lower scoring game. I'm leaning towards Georgia's defense being pissed off that Bama scored as many points as they did against them last time. That's where I'm leaning. But
okay,
we'll see.
Okay, all right.
I'm rooting hard for Georgia, though. Again, it's a lot of my friends here are Georgia fans, so I want Georgia to win for them.
Right.
I could care less because I'm technically a Kentucky fan, but I'm definitely rooting for. It's like you're rooting against the evil empire. No one roots for the Patriots unless you're a Patriots fan. No one roots for Alabama unless you're an Alabama fan.
Going through a real moment here, Jake.
I am.
The conundrum I put Jake right there.
I think, especially this week, I've been so focused on the NFL because my team actually is having some success this year. So now I'm like, okay, now I actually really am thinking about the national championship game for the first time really since then.
Red says it's going to be 31-28 Georgia. Everyone's calling for a Georgia win tonight.
Yeah.
I'm just going to call for a Georgia win just so I don't get murdered out on the streets. So I say Georgia's going to win. Gibby says. Gibby just chimed in. He goes, I wouldn't go by my guess. Apparently, I overshoot predictions. Glares at Jake. Yes, you did. Yeah. If you would only shot one number lower, you would have won.
I owe you a beer, Gibby.
I don't know. A pair of Bon Jovi tickets is going to be a lot more than just a singular beer.
I don't have those tickets to give, but I can get you a beer. It might only be like 10 ounces though, because apparently I don't hit the mark.
Too soon. So there's going to be a couple shows that are getting announced this week.
Yeah.
Not in town, or actually just one singular one I'm very excited about. But I believe it's going to be next week. We're probably going to give some tickets away, and I'm very excited about that. But
I consider Charleston, Atlanta, Jacksonville, Savannah in town.
So pretty much this is an in-town show. But yeah, I'm very excited about that. We'll have some cool announcement to give you this week in regards to a show that's not quite in town, but is in town.
Trying to see your email. I can't see. See if you got some info.
It's this one right here, if you can see that.
Hold on. Stand by.
That one.
That's not bad.
All right, guys, jumping into the top of the 8 o'clock hour. Currently, this hour, we're going to do the story to kick off the hour with National Passing Gas Day, which was this past Friday. We'll jump into a poll that I found in regards to that. We'll ask Jake some probably uncomfortable questions. Hopefully, comedy.
At least I can't get any of these wrong.
Hopefully, comedy will ensue. Yeah, you probably won't get any of these wrong. And then after that, we'll get into the return of Wheel of Florida. Speaking of, I'll grab the wheel.
Yeah. Fancy.
What I'll do is I'll have you spin the wheel.
Okay.
I'll tell the story, and then I'll have you spin the wheel.
And the wheel determines if it was Florida or not Florida.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we tell the wheel if it's wrong.
The wheel is never wrong. All right, let's make sure we're on time. All right, we are. Cool.
Beautiful.
What do you got going on for the rest of your day?
Well, I am going to work on some music stuff for Bob. And then after that, I'm going to take all those chairs that we got delivered the other day because we have more chairs to put together.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to take those upstairs, and I'm going to start putting those together. Ideally, if I'm not exhausted, I will get all of them done and take down all the boxes from the other chairs I built the other day. And then that's kind of my day, really. And then I got my show later today. And then I'm going to go home and probably take a nap and then get ready to watch the championship game tonight.
Scott says, are you not allowed to read comments about the arena? Oh, no, we could read them. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, I've heard some things about the arena. It sounds like it will be open this Friday for the Riley Green show. I've heard some other things about the arena, about how not exactly done it is.
Yeah.
How they may have kind of overshot booking shows.
Well,
I think that's one of the reasons why they haven't booked any more shows within January and February.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. The parking situation is going to be the most interesting thing.
Yeah, parking lots are not done until May this year.
Yeah, so make sure you get all the details you need on there because you're going to need to have some sort of plan probably. There is a shuttle, which is going to be very helpful, that you can take for free. The other thing, too, which I talked about on my show, is that if you are going to Riley Green or anything, as it stands now, masks are required. So what I said the other day, I was like, that's going to be something you're going to throw a fit about it now because when you get to the show, you got to have them. They're not going to let you in. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So Scott's a friend of ours, and he sent me some pictures of the End Market Arena this past Saturday. Inside, it's looking incredible.
Yeah.
But there is some work they still have to do inside to get this thing ready. All right, guys, we will be right back. 20 seconds. It's Rock 106.1, Savannah's Rock Station. Welcome to the Marshall and Friends show this morning. My friend joining me in studio is Jake Thomson, the afternoon host of Bob 106.9.
What's happening? Nan.
Sorry, I went all country right there.
A little bit there.
Now, we are currently on the live stream. Make sure to hang out with us as we do this every single weekday from 7 to 9 on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Just search the Marshall and Friends show. And there's tons of ways to listen to the show. You can download our app just by searching Rock 106.1 via the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. You can get us on your in-home smart speaker or listen live at rock1061.com. Now, Jake, over the weekend, I saw that this past Friday for the national calendar, like the national days, like Kitten Day or Take Your Grandma to Work Day or whatever craziness there is. So this past Friday was National Pass Gas Day.
We've gone too far as a society.
Yeah, where they encourage to be loud and proud about breaking wind. But apparently it's not for everyone because 1 in 6 people, they say they pass gas every single day. So they actually did a poll in regards to, passing gas in general. So I thought I'd ask you a couple of these questions and I'll tell you where America kind of lays.
Okay.
So, Jake, do you freely pass gas in front of your significant other? Now, this is a poll that they put together for National Pass Gas Day.
I do not.
So people say it's close, but 51% of people said yes, they do pass gas in front of their partner. I try not to, but I'm a guy and I'm a gassy individual.
Yeah.
I eat things that I probably shouldn't eat. Therefore, gas kind of happens.
Yep.
So yeah, I would say I pass gas in front of my partner, but I'm not like aggressively ripping them.
Yeah. I here's the thing. I've told you this before. I've always been self-conscious about smelling bad because I've always been the fat guy, but I don't want to be the fat smelly guy. Is usually how I work that. So I choose not to. I try to avoid that at all costs. It does cause some issues, like especially in the morning. That's usually where I have to do said activity and like and pass some gas, and I usually don't because I'm like, oh God, I don't know. I know everybody does it, but it's always been something that I've been embarrassed by for some reason.
You just wait to get in your car and then you just rip.
No, usually I was like get in the shower and then it's fine there. You know.
You're like, oh, it's just a thunder in the shower.
Just a little bit. It's fine.
Now, according to this question, too, 39% of people said they also pass gas during sex, which I think is a huge no. Unless it's like an accidental, can't help it.
Yeah.
But 100%, that's the least opportune time, I think, to pass gas.
Listen, in situations like that, that is the most unsexy thing. If there's any sort of maybe questionable situation that could happen, I'm going to pass on that situation. Like, I will say, you know what? Maybe tomorrow. If I never go get Mexican food before you do that.
Nope.
You know, it's like, look, it's just not going to happen. It's not a smart idea.
Try not to eat an entire bowl of beans before having sexy time with your partner. All right, let's do one more question, and we'll jump into some more here in a bit. Would you break wind on public transportation or hold it in?
Okay, I have a similar sort of answer here. So I try not to do that, especially when you're in a confined area.
Right, a subway car.
Yes, I try to avoid that. Now, I will say in public in general, is that a follow-up question later? Should we wait to get into that?
No.
In public in general, I will wander off and handle that situation if necessary. Fun fact, when I used to work at Kroger, or a grocery store, no specific grocery store. I worked in the section that handled medicines and baby stuff. I found that if you go to the baby aisle, you're less likely to be assumed as the culprit of said activity because there's babies with dirty diapers walking through there.
So you just rip farts in the baby aisle.
There was a science behind it. I would go there because then people are like, oh, it was probably a baby that rolled through here, not this guy who's stocking diapers.
There's a science behind ripping farts at grocery stores. Now you know, guys.
There you go.
According to this story, would you break wind on public transportation or hold it in? Only 25% of people try to hold it in. The rest of them apparently just let it rip.
Savages.
I would let it rip. I would just let it go. I try to let it go silently. It's difficult to do, but once you have control of
it, is a skill.
Yeah. Anyway, here's Nita Strauss. It's Marshall and Fred Show, Rock 106.1. Definitely a skill. It is warm in here, right?
Yeah. No, 100%.
Hold on. I'm gonna go turn the heat.
This is getting to people talking. Let's see. Andrew nailed that comment there. Gibby says, I don't hold back. It's a natural bodily thing, but getting older, I have to be cognizant of the pressure. Yeah, I know. I get that. There's been issues there as well. I just, it's one of those things where I've never been comfortable with it, even like in going to the bathroom, it's not the worst thing in my life over the last year, I'd say, has been the fact that in our current setup, and Marshall, you can attest to this, the worst part of my life of the last year, I feel like, is in our current setup, we only have one bathroom that everybody uses. Mm-hmm. So if I need to use said bathroom for certain activities, I am extremely uncomfortable. And I don't like it.
Yeah, there's people who go in there and like turn on the water immediately, and as soon as I hear that, I'm like, okay, I know people are taking care of business.
When I was a kid, I hated doing it in public. I would actually need I honestly, this is weird. I would have my dad go and basically like stand guard. I was like, I can't go unless you go like stand there with me. And it's to the point where like now, if I need to go and it's like I can't wait, it has to happen. I will literally drive across the street. The JCPenney, there's a door. You walk right into the JCPenney door. The bathroom's right there. You can walk right out. You don't feel guilty for just going in to use the bathroom. Wow. You go boom, in and out. Like, I have a system. So that's why I'm really excited that our new studios will have at least a little bit more room.
Yeah, a little bit more private restrooms.
Yeah.
Andrew says, I will fart in front of my wife. Why hold it in? Better out than in. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Gibby says, I don't hold it back. It's a naturally bodily thing, but getting older, I now have to be cognizant of the pressure.
Yes.
Scott says, well, my daughter lets them fly violently and then imitates fat bastard saying, excuse me, I farted.
I feel like, at least in my marriage, that once a baby pops out, that barrier will probably be broken a little bit because we have to be more like involved in those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
The closest thing we have right now is emptying a litter box. So I feel like when I'm having to change a baby's diaper, it'll be like, well, all right, I guess we're in this thing. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happens post baby.
Yeah,
but I'm definitely not about that.
But yeah, no, I've always been. I don't know why. I know it's a natural bodily function. I know. I've always been self-conscious about all that. The fact that I'm talking about this right now with you on a microphone that goes out to multiple people is shocking. If my wife heard me talking about this, she would not believe it.
So we've got 3 more questions to ask in regards to this past Friday's National Passing Gas Day. We got some good ones coming up. So we'll get to that. And we also have some figures that we'll talk about as well. And then the second half of the hour, like I said, we'll be talking about the Wheel of Florida, bringing it back.
Wheel of Florida.
2 amazing stories. Yeah. 2 amazing stories that we'll get to. Tomorrow on the show, special friend in studio is going to be Stacey Scott of Hot 98.3. Due to the week, we'll return tomorrow. We'll give away some more Bon Jovi tickets. We'll do Marshall's Music News. We'll play Are You Smarter, My Friend Trivia. All that good stuff.
It's a good thing you're talking about this activity with me and not Stacey, because I'm pretty sure you may have been kicked off the air had Stacey been in here for this topic.
I would have turned the dump button on. No pun intended.
Yeah.
In regards to that. So more importantly, did you hear that I believe the Dicks are going to be in town this week?
Oh, I did not.
The big bosses are here in town this week.
Big bosses.
Yes, the head Dicks are going to be in town.
It means I'm going to have to wear jeans.
Oh. So I wore my Dick Broadcasting shirt just in case they're like, hey, Marshall, are you committed to the company? I'm like, I'm wearing the hoodie.
Obviously. Well, that's fun. I'm going to have to make sure.
Yeah, our big bosses are
come say hi. I haven't seen one of them pretty much since before the pandemic. I don't think I've seen it. Oh, no. I saw him at the concert last year. He came down for the concert.
Dick Harlow?
Yeah. Came down for the concert. That was a crazy day.
Yeah, that was a fun day with the 20th anniversary show.
Yeah.
I was just we do these like sales events.
Yeah.
And I actually talked about the show that we put on. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I forgot how fun that was.
Yeah. I think I was mostly that whole weekend. I was a runner to like the airport and the hotels. I want to say between the 3 days, I drove from Savannah to the airport. I want to say probably about 12 times to 15 times. I think.
Yeah.
Just because like there was one time I had to go pick up people and then I had to go pick up people again and then drop people off again. But then I had like on the day of the show, Wes's stuff from Puddle of Mud, his like merchant stuff that he was going to sell came in like late. So I had to go pick it up. I drove all the way out there the day of the show. I get it back. I'm like, hey, I got it. And they're like, where's the other bag? I'm like, what other bag? So I had to go back out again. So boom, boom, boom. And that was when I was driving A-Dub's wife's vehicle. She has this real fancy car, and she's a tiny lady. And it was this real fancy car. And as soon as you started it up, she had a setting to where it's like, oh, I'm going to automatically set the seat where you need it to be. So like I would hit the button and it would like start up and then it would like start crunching me like a garbage like trash compactor. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. And it's finally getting to stop.
I'm glad you lived through that experience.
It was scary for a minute. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, what is happening? Why is there this car doing things?
Rhett says, are the Dicks, is that like the Bobs from Office Space? Pretty much.
Yeah, similar.
They're
nicer, though.
We'll see if they fire us. So I'm on TMZ right now looking at
don't tell me.
an update for Bob Saget. There's no real update, but according to this came out late last night. The Orange County Sheriff's Office said, we have no information on the cause of the death. The detectives have found no signs of foul play or drug use in the case. So it'll probably be a couple days or weeks before we find out what officially Bob Saget passed away from.
I'm real nervous about it. I don't really want to know.
It's going to be, hopefully it's like the most American cause. It's just like heart disease.
Yeah.
It's not like Bob Saget was like 100% the skinniest dude.
Right. I was just watching roast highlights the other day and saw some of the stuff from his roast when they roasted him. And man, he's so funny. And it sucks. It really, really sucks.
He was egregiously tall too. Bob Saget was 6'4".
Yeah. He was a big dude. It was funny.
Play power forward.
So I saw on social media, I think it was on Twitter or something, where they had filmed a bunch of stuff for America's Funniest Home Videos, like 30th anniversary, and it was like him and Tom Bergeron and Alfonso Ribeiro, who currently hosts it, and it was like the three major hosts, like all kind of like together for this big 30th anniversary thing. So it was like cool they got to do that before this happened, obviously.
Yeah, and they haven't done an in-person roast in a long time.
It's been a minute. I think I don't remember who the last one was, but it was obviously before the pandemic. The last couple weren't very good.
I mean, more importantly, is Jeff Ross okay? Because that guy just essentially lived on doing the roast once a year.
They did roast battles for a while. He had that new show on TV where it was basically like, they just made fun of people. Do you remember the show Yo Mama with Wilmer Valderrama?
Yes, I do.
From back in the day on MTV? Yeah. I don't know why I thought of that the other day. I think I was watching that 70s show, and I was like, I asked my wife, do you remember this? She's like, I have no recollection of the show you're talking about. I'm like, it was so good.
Good old Yo Mama.
Man.
Dude, I remember it was just 1v1.
Yeah, Yo Mama jokes back. And it was like, all right, this is Yo Mama's so ugly. Your mama's so fat. And they'd give them like a topic. And they'd have to.
See, that's like the quintessential like 90s, but I believe that happened in the early aughts.
It was early aughts, yeah, for sure. Because, I would come home from school and I would watch.
2006 is when Yo Mama, it lasted 3 seasons.
It debuted in 2006 or went off the air in 2006?
Debuted in 2006.
Wow.
It has a 2 out of 5 star rating on IMDb, 4.3 out of 10.
I just remember like that and like Pimp My Ride and Room Raiders and Next. Do you remember all?
Those were the shows that somehow shouldn't have survived the 90s, but they lasted
they're
long.
like right into it, yeah. Because it was like that, The Challenge, and like The Real World and Road Rules. It was all those MTV. I know we were talking earlier about how people were like, oh, I miss when it was just music videos. That was the golden age of MTV right there, I think.
They had
right in the thick of it with Real World, and then The Challenge is all. I've just recently gotten back into that. We've talked about that before, but like, yeah, all those like I'd come home from school, it would be like TRL, Next, Road Rules, Room Raiders. Honestly, Room Raiders. I was 13 at the time. I was never gonna be on that show, but that show.
I've never saw Room Raiders.
You never saw Room Raiders? No. Room Raiders made me like make sure my room was clean. So basically, like they would quote kidnap 3 people, like 3 guys, 3 girls. And then it would be like this bachelor or the hot person that they would be trying to go out on a date with. And that person would go into each of their rooms and like walk through their rooms and like
that's creepy.
Determine who he would date based on how they kept their rooms.
That's creepy.
It was weird, but it was also, and like a lot of it was staged, but it was like, it was paranoid inducing. Like I'm like, what if I'm ever on this show? I need to make sure my room is clean. My room is stay clean.
So you cleaned your room because you thought one day you could appear on MTV.
I was like, what if some girl that I like ends up like going through my room or something?
Living in rural Kentucky.
Yeah, exactly. But no, they'd go in and they'd be like, they'd like find like a stack of like Playboys or something, and be like, well, if he's looking at these, blah 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 blah.
The like, classic stack of Playboys,
or guys like, oh man, she's got a bunch of dirty clothes and she's gross and blah, blah, blah. There's bugs in here because they have snacks under their bed.
She doesn't know how to treat herself.
Right.
Why is there a stack of used condoms in the corner?
Right. But it was like early 2000s, so it was still kind of like very misogynistic and ridiculous.
Good Lord. All right, guys, we got less than 2 minutes going back on the air. Second half of the national passing gas story. Got a couple more questions we're going to make Jake answer, which he feels very uncomfortable doing, which I love. So we'll get to that. And then on the second half of the hour, we'll bring back the Wheel of Florida.
Yeah.
Sean says, so glad I bought chili for lunch today. It's going to go well with with the nasty cold of the day. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not too shabby here in Savannah. It's overcast. I guess it rained a little bit overnight, but it's been overcast the entire morning.
Yeah. Which I like.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I mowed the yard yesterday. It's the first time I mowed the yard in, I think, in like 2 months.
Right.
It was just getting long enough to look terrible. So,
Right.
yeah, I mowed the yard yesterday, and that was my manly task of the day outside of watching football and then working and putting together the show today.
Yeah. Well, I haven't had to mow grass because I'm an apartment guy, but we moved from the 3rd floor to the 1st floor, and now on the days they do mow, it's literally right outside my door. And I'm like, yeah.
Morning, Wanda. How are you? Gibby says, Sean, Jake lost me Bon Jovi tickets. I'm not mad about it or anything.
I'm never going to live this down. Gibby never forgets.
Oh, man. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on the live stream once again. Talking about National Passing Gas Day. We got less than 30 seconds jumping back on the air. Found this poll that they did for the National Day that we'll talk about here more in just a second. We'll be right back. It's Rock 106.1, Savannah's Rock Station. Welcome to the Marshall and Friends show this morning. Jake Thomson is my friend in studio.
Yep. And I'm just still kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah, Jake feels incredibly uncomfortable talking about this. This is why I love to talk about
This is almost a Torture Tuesday for me.
Well, this past Friday, Jake, for everyone tuning in, was National Passing Gas Day, or Pass Gas Day. It is when we, let loose. When we're feeling
pride,
feeling a little pressure.
Because why not?
Now, we've asked some questions like, do you freely pass gas in front of your significant other? You said no, and I said, I'm a guy. I just do it sometimes, but I don't do it to, torture her in any way. Question number 2, would you break wind on public transportation? I said yes. You said definitely not.
Definitely not.
So let's get into some other questions they asked on this National Passing Gas poll. Question number 3, how embarrassed would you be if you let one slip out at work and people knew it was you?
I'd be pretty embarrassed, but I feel like most of the people around here wouldn't really hold on to it too long. They'd kind of move past it.
I'd be like, he ate Taco Bell today. It was bound to happen.
I would be embarrassed, but I don't think anybody would say anything.
Now, according to this poll, only 17% of people said not embarrassed at all. 36% said very embarrassed, and another 47% said it would never happen because they would go to the bathroom if they needed to pass gas.
I usually try to at least leave the room or go to a room. Like, you ever see me hanging out in Tim Janier's office for no reason?
Well,
Don't go in Tim Janier's
here's
office.
the thing. Usually,
I've done it in your office too.
Usually when I have to pass gas, I just go to Tim Janier's office.
Yeah.
And whether he's in there or not, I just let it rip and I just walk out. I say nothing.
He's usually the only one in there, and he's most of the time working on something outside of the office anyway, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, no, even if he was in there, it's Tim Janier. Who cares? He's the worst. Question number 4, if you broke wind around other people, how do you avoid getting caught? Now, I think we kind of talked about that. You would go into the other room. Is there another passing gas tip that you could pass along to anyone?
I don't really know if I have any tips. I try to just, it's weird, but hold it and when you blow up a balloon.
Great advice.
No.
Hold it.
listen. You let it out, how you hold, blow up a balloon?
Yeah.
And then you just slowly you just let the air out just a little. That's the best technique in my opinion, because that will allow you to do it subtly, hopefully.
All right, so avoiding to get caught, 54% of people saying ignoring it and saying nothing is the best strategy. 30% of people said they'll leave the area. 10% say blame someone else, which a good old finger point is just funny when it comes to farts. And then 6% say to fan it away from everyone and hope for the best. All right, one more question. National Passing Gas Day this past Friday. One more question from the poll we found. Jake, do you ever enjoy the smell of your own gas? You like your own brand? Your own flavor?
Enjoy is a misnomer, I think. I have been intrigued and impressed at times, but I wouldn't say I'd have enjoyed it. There have been times I'm like, what the hell?
I don't think I would. There's some points I wonder if I'm dead inside of the gas that is passed. But other than that, I would not say I enjoy my own brand.
I don't go out of the way to be like, ooh, that's not. No.
Usually when I do pass gas, I don't like to stand around. I'm like, oh, this is toxic.
Stick and move.
I should absolutely leave. All right, guys. Coming up here in just a few minutes, we return with the Wheel of Florida. We have some amazing stories, and we're going to let the wheel Let us know whether it happened in Florida or not in Florida. Right now, it's Godsmack Unforgettable on the Marshall and Friends show on Rock 106.1. Good morning. Okay.
Some interesting comments have come in.
Kegels strengthen that pelvic floor. It's bound. It's true.
Andrew says, I used to be embarrassed when I was younger. Now I just don't care. I feel as though that is like everything in life. Because they're like when I was a kid, like I would be so embarrassed and I would try to run away. I would have to have like I was saying earlier, I have to have my dad keep watch if I was going to the bathroom. But now I'm just like, I've noticed it more and more with a lot of things. Like, because it used to be like, well, I got to look nice. But now, like, I wear gym shorts every day because I'm comfortable, and no one has yelled at me yet. So, but I wear gym shorts because they're comfortable, and that's how I'm. You know, I'd rather be comfortable. I feel like I'm more productive if I'm not. You know, I'm just like whatever. It's fine.
It's important to be comfortable, but also you have to kind of look the part depending on what job you have.
I look the part from the waist up when I'm on camera. That's the most important thing.
You look like a radio guy.
I know news guys who wear sweatpants. Like,
oh yeah,
they'll wear like suit jackets, sweatpants. But yeah, I've just as I've gotten older, it's like I don't care anymore. I just want to be. I just want to exist, and it's.
I just want to exist.
Existing is exhausting, and sometimes you just need to do things that make it easier, and that might be it right there.
Wanda says crop dusting techniques are the way to go.
Yeah, you
have to share some of those with us.
My old boss at the grocery store I worked at, he didn't care. He thought it was hilarious. He would just walk around doing it all day constantly, and you could hear him from the other room. And it was he'd come in on some days and be like, just so you know, Janet, his wife, made bean soup and I drank a bunch of beer last night, and we would all avoid him. Like what? And we would call Janet would come in to visit, and we would yell at her like, what the hell is your problem?
Damn it, Janet.
Yeah. He'd walk around. Oh, stepped on a spider. That was his thing. He would say he stepped on a spider.
Oh, wow.
And we'd have to run away.
Steve says, stand next to someone you don't like and sneak one out, then slowly walk away.
Yeah.
How about those Las Vegas Raiders? Incredible, Steve. Incredible stuff, man. Unbelievable.
I'm just bummed out that they didn't go for the tie, and now as punishment, they're gonna have to come to the jungle and lose in the jungle.
Sean says, I called a dude out in Menards once for crapping himself on the same aisle. What exactly did you say to him?
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Is that brand yours? It is disgustable. Which is a word.
Is that you? Depends.
Andrew says, so by the way, that is worded, Sean. Y'all both in the same aisle. Sound about right.
Yeah.
He has IBS, I think Sean does.
Oh, I see.
No, he doesn't. All right, guys, going to jump into the Pumpkins real quick, playing Zero, and then we're back on the air with the first of two stories for the Wheel of Florida. This is pretty easy. I'm just going to go into the details of the story. We'll have you spin the wheel. We'll have you showcase it on the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll do the same thing on the second break, and that'll wrap up the live stream for the day.
Love it.
Wanda says, my kids just walk off if me or hubby do it at the store. Yeah, that's a crazy thing. Like if you have to pass gas in the store, let's say you're in a Kroger or whatever store, you always try to, like, if you're a good human being, you will try to go find an aisle that has no one in it.
Yes.
Pretend you're looking for, Italian sausage or something, and then you will run away from it.
There's a little. I mean, no one wants to do it, I'd imagine, but there's a little bit of etiquette to it,
Yeah, I mean, like, and it's awesome because the older you get, you'd care less about where you actually are passing gas or certain things you do. That's why old people are some of the best people to hang out with because they just don't care anymore. They're like,
they don't care, or they don't know what happened. One of the two.
I've been on this planet for 7 decades.
Yeah,
F you.
We went and visited my grandpa when I was back home. My dad and I just went over and hung out with him for a few minutes. Had to do some tasks around the house because he can't breathe and he's on a walker and all that stuff. And he got up to go to the bathroom, and it was like ducks quacking as he was walking away. I'm like, he just doesn't care. He's whatever, or he literally has no idea that he's doing it. That either one.
Yeah.
My grandma, my mom's mom, she had this real bad habit. It would always happen to her when she started laughing. Like if she was like honestly belly laughing, she couldn't help but
Poop her pants?
well, no, pass gas. And so when I was younger, we would intentionally make her laugh like that, trying to make her do that, and it worked a lot. It was fun.
We made Grandma shit her pants.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
All right, guys, we're less than a minute coming back with our first story of 2 for the Wheel of Florida. Sean says, I told him he needed to go to a few aisles over and get a new pair of pants because he must have been full. He said, what? And I responded with, I smell what you did. You need to throw your whole ass away.
I smell what you did. Sounds like a weird, like, a Law and Order line that you drop right before the commercial break. I smell what you did. Dong, dong.
It sounds like a tagline from a parody movie. I know what you did last time.
Right.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. Rock 106.1, Savannah's Rock Station. Welcome to the Marshall and Friends show. Today, joining me in studio is Jake Thomson from Bob 106.9. Thanks for being my friend, Jake.
Absolutely.
All right, we are live streaming the show right now, so make sure to jump on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch and search the Marshall and Friends show. Today, while you're there, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Let's dive into our first of 2 stories for the returning bits of the Wheel of Florida. This is really simple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you guys a story, and we'll let the wheel decide whether it happened in Florida or not Florida.
Okay.
All right, so here's story number 1.
Hit me.
A 29-year-old guy named Jacob McFarland stole 2 toys from an adult toy store last week called Adult World Video Superstore.
Okay.
It's just a top-of-the-line place when it's called that.
We just get right to the point. Here's what we have. Boom.
So he walked in. He went straight to the fleshlight section.
Yeah.
And walked out with 2 different toys. Both were self-pleasuring devices.
Obviously.
Now, but unfortunately for Jacob, the cashier knew exactly who he was because he recently applied for a job there. The cashier caught up with him in the parking lot and put him in a headlock, and then Jacob threatened to stab him. So he let him go, and he called the cops. They found Jacob at a hotel around the corner. The adult toys were stolen, still in his backpack, unopened, along with a knife. So Jake,
he was going to stab him.
Yeah, he had the potential to stab him. So in the returning Wheel of Florida, let's go ahead and spin that wheel and determine whether this story happened in Florida or not Florida.
Oh, it looks like we got Florida.
Oh, starting off on the wrong side of things. This actually happened in Philadelphia. Philadelphia,
wow.
Yes. All right, so the Wheel of Florida returns. We have another story for you coming up here in just a few minutes. This one involves no sex toys, but includes some genitalia. So we'll talk about that next.
Real genitalia.
Yes, some real genitalia on the Marshall and Fred show on Rock 106.1. Good morning. Oh, sorry.
There it is.
Sorry, a police officer stopped by.
Yeah.
We had to talk to them.
No sound. We got it, Steve. We were chatting.
Sorry, we had a visitor stop by. I didn't realize I didn't turn the mics back on. I apologize. All right,
You
guys.
didn't miss anything, though.
Yeah, we had our good friend Sam the cop was in.
Sam the cop.
Sam the cop, yeah, man.
Yeah, that's pretty wild that you would after applying for a job there, you would go back and
incredible stuff. But yeah, this guy, once again, Jacob McFarland, he stole 2 sex toys. Both were self-pleasuring. One was a fleshlight, and apparently the other one was an automatic fleshlight. So if you're familiar with what a fleshlight is, if not, Google it, even if you're at work.
Yeah, especially if you're at work.
Especially if you're at work.
So one of my favorite spots on my drive home when I go through the mountains, so I either go through Atlanta and go through that, or I go through the mountains and go through Knoxville. In between, somewhere between like Asheville and Knoxville, there is a gigantic sex store.
Like gigantic,
it's like
Walmart style?
Yeah, it's like a big store.
Okay.
And then literally, it's like, because you have nothing but like mountain, and then there's like a store. And the only other thing next to it is a gigantic cross. And they're literally right next to each other, and it makes me laugh every time I drive by it.
It always makes me laugh when you travel, across the United States, and then suddenly there's just a egregiously large cross. And you're like, really? This is the thing you wanted to put up?
You're from the Midwest. It's like once you really get out there in like cornfield country, man, it's like Jesus loves you, giant dildos. Jesus loves you, giant dildos. Boom,
fireworks.
Every billboard that you pass.
Yeah, pretty much. There were some weird billboards up over the weekend here as well. Now I'm trying to remember them. What the hell was up? There was some weird billboards talking about voting.
Okay.
But also included religion. It was so weird.
Mm-hmm.
People spend their money on the wildest things.
Yeah. Some of the stuff that I've seen go up on billboards is pretty.
I always love the abortion billboards when you go into South Carolina. As soon as you get into Hardyville there, there's always like abortion billboards all over the place.
There was
how many abortions are happening in this area?
When I was a kid, the reason I found out about abortion was because there was a sign on this road that we'd have to travel a lot to get to my grandma's house. And it was this just big sign, and it was abortion is murder, and had Jesus like crying, and there was like rain. And I was like, what's that? And my dad goes, I found out about abortion, and I had the sex talk way too early because of signs that I've seen. And it was very interesting.
That's what ruined you.
Yeah, honestly. No, legitimately though.
Never been the same.
I got the birds and the bees talk when I was maybe like 10.
Oh.
Yeah, because I'll do my best to censor this story. So I was at a Lowe's, and I was.
It's the first place that sex happens.
Exactly. My dad and I were there. We were shopping for something. My whole family was there. Mm-hmm. And I had to use the restroom, so my dad was standing guard, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just like kind of reading everything that's on the walls. And I saw a word that I had never seen before. We're just on stream, so I guess I can say it. I'll say it discreetly. Things that a man provides in order to make a baby.
Okay.
Was written on the wall. So as we were leaving, I saw it in there. We were there for another half hour, and I waited until we were leaving the store at the front door with a bunch of other people around, and I turned to my dad and I go, Dad, what's insert word here? And he went, he freaked out. He's like, I'll tell you when we get home. So we went home, and he pulled out this is before like internet was really a thing. He pulled out the medical handbook and started thumbing through it.
He was prepared for it.
He was ready to roll.
He was prepared for the birds and bees talk.
Yeah, he did a really good job too.
No father probably owns the medical handbook for any other reason.
That's so funny. I remember we talked about that recently, and I was like, "Do you remember having to bust out that book?" He's like, "Yeah." It was like that was the weirdest thing ever, man. But yeah, all because of something written on the stall door.
We talking about CU?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Involved.
I didn't know if you went with like the real medical term.
No. Sperm. No. It was It was basically someone was talking and telling everyone in the bathroom how he enjoyed the flavor.
Oh,
that was what the That was what the thing written on the wall was. I'm like, okay. So then I was like, well, what is that? And I went and asked my dad.
Is that ice cream?
I asked my dad in front of at least 15 other people. As we're loudly, I'm a loud person, you know this, and I literally, as a 9-year-old,
awesome.
go, "Hey, Dad, what's this?" And he was mortified.
Wanda says the birds and the bees talk to us was, if you get pregnant, you're on your own. It sounds like a solid talk.
Yeah.
Everything else you could find out in health class.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really got. I don't think I got a birds and the bees talk from my parents.
We didn't have much in school. I was in an independent school district, so like.
Yeah, you're also from Kentucky too.
Yeah.
So I just imagine that's like outdoors underneath a tree.
Pretty much. One time when I was working at that grocery store, had someone come and ask for condoms and bug spray. I was like, "You're about to have a weird night." I remember we were in 5th grade. This is no lie. I don't know. Okay, so no lie. My 5th grade science teacher's name was Mr. Dykes. And he was a very interesting fellow. Very nice guy, but very quirky. Dude would clip his toenails in the middle of class. It was disgusting. Anyway, so we go in to see the puberty video, right? To learn about puberty and how your body's going to be changing and yada, yada, yada.
Oh, yeah.
And so he starts the video, and it was one of those old VHSs that was like, it's a 2-hour VHS. The first hour is girls. The second hour is guys. Homeboy puts the video in and hits play, and all these girls are on screen, and we're like, Mr. Dykes, I don't think this is our video. And he's like, boys, calm down and watch the video. We're like, okay. And then it's like women and girls are like, so Mom, I'm feeling a little weird. And we're like, Mr. Dykes, this is not. And he's like, boys. So I went on a couple times. And finally, she opens up a drawer and there's a box of Tampax there. And she goes, and he turns and he goes, oh, well, this isn't the wrong video. So, but by that point, we had learned way too much.
There was 2 choices, Mr. Dykes. Literally 2 videos. You chose the wrong one.
It was mortifying because, like, for guys at that age, it's like you're gonna start smelling bad. Wear deodorant, wash yourself, you'll be fine. And girls, it's a whole different story. And we found out way too much that day. We literally went and I was like, we met up with the female friends and our female classmates, and we're like, is that really gonna happen to you? What's going on? We had no idea what was happening. Are you dying? What is happening here?
Wanda says, yeah, all my education was from the school sex ed class. The rest was Red Shoe Diaries. Yeah, big time. I think most of mine, was from health class in the grade school. Like, my parents didn't do anything.
Well, one of the funniest things was, my middle school and high school health teacher, great dude. I was really close with him in high school. I haven't really talked to him in years, but he was like a church leader, an FCA leader. He was like, that was his deal, but he was also the health teacher. So he was when it was time for that, he's like, all right, everyone, let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. Everyone say penis. Now everyone say vagina. It was like, he's like, all right, now we good? We done laughing? Let's get to talking about it. And it was just funny because, like, the next day I'd be like, so God loves you. It's like, the dichotomy was funny.
As a teacher, that must be one of the hardest positions.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Just for the fact that, not only do you have to be like the driver's head teacher, the PE teacher, but you somehow still now have to cover health and talk about, like, you have to cover the hardest subjects in schooling or the most awkward ones for kids. It's not like you're talking about science.
Or at least the most personal. Yeah. Like things that they're going through. Like, you're never going to need, 90% of the time, you're not going to need to know how to find the length of or circumference of a half circle in calculus. I didn't take calculus. Anyway, but like, that stuff you're going to need.
And when it comes to teachers, do you think, like, grade school teachers, high school teachers who teach, like, math or algebra or anything including numbers, do you think they know how much they're hated?
I don't know.
I would say that would be the utter worst. Like, if you're no offense to, and I apologize for any math teachers that may be offending. I think personally, I never liked one of my math teachers, and I don't think it was anything personal. I just never liked any of them because they taught the subject I hated the most.
Yeah, just associated.
But I love my science teacher, and I love my history teacher. Yeah. I can't honestly remember a single math teacher I liked at all.
And, it's funny, like, I didn't dislike any of my math teachers, but I definitely preferred other teachers, and I think it was because of that. I think there's something. Yeah. And, like, my favorite math teacher was my geometry teacher because I liked geometry more than I liked algebra. So I think there's probably something to that.
Everything with numbers, I hate. Yeah. I would hate that person.
Yeah.
Parents really need to take the subject over way more than they should. Anatomy terms need to be normalized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
I'm sure teachers would be very happy for you to do that.
Yeah. I've told my wife that when we do have kids, we're not using things like, we're going to use the actual words and not like hoo-ha and winky and like stuff like that.
Well, you're going to love this next story because I think I'm dropping a hoo-ha.
Yeah, all right.
All right, 20 seconds, guys. Bring it back. One more story for the Wheel of Florida. Going to determine whether this story is from Florida or not. We'll tell you it here in just a minute. Rock 106.1, Savannah's Rock Station. Welcome to the Marshall and Friends Show. Hop on that live stream. If you got a few minutes, hang out with Jake and I, as Jake is my special guest in studio today on the show. He's the afternoon host of Bob 106.9.
Always fun to be here.
On the live stream, you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Just search the Marshall and Friends Show. Currently, we're playing a game called The Wheel of Florida, where I tell you a hilarious story that happened somewhere in the country. Could have happened in Florida or could happen somewhere else, and we'll let the wheel determine that. Currently, the wheel's 0 for 1.
0 for 1 today,
generally, the wheel's, usually more than 50%,
Yeah.
so I'm kind of worried how it's going to perform on this next story. But this next story is pure radio gold, all right? So here we go. 2 women were arrested after allegedly hiding cash and a watch they stole inside their genitals. Now,
Yikes.
Nikki Grandel and Stacey Johnson each face a charge of grand larceny and were arrested back on the 2nd of this month. According to police, Grandel and Johnson met the victim on a how do I want to say that? A casino floor.
Okay.
The 3 decided to go up to the victim's hotel room, and the victim took a bath, leaving $6,500 in cash rolled up in a rubber band and a Rolex watch inside a duffel bag in the room with the 2 women. The victim said he couldn't find the items a short time later. Now, police did a body search of Johnson and found the money bulging in her pants. Johnson initially told police she had placed the money in her hoo-ha, but it had fallen out. Which brings up a whole line of questions. Now Grandel denied taking any items from the room with this, but upon her booking, officers conducted an X-ray on Grandel and found a Rolex watch inside of her. So once again, these 2 ladies stole $6,500 in cash. The cash fell out of her hoo-ha, and the Rolex was found in the other girl's hoo-ha via an X-ray inside the jail. I betcha she did not see that coming at all. She's like, oh, yeah, I'm totally going to get away with this. They're like, oh, yeah, we're going to have you jump into this X-ray machine.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, no.
I've never held $6,500 in cash.
Right.
But I feel like especially if you're at a casino,
sizable.
You're gonna have like 5s and 10s. It's not just all gonna be $100 bills. That's the fact that didn't stay.
Yeah,
is concerning.
It's interesting. She should go see a doctor. But
with that $6,500,
either way, we should spin the wheel of Florida and determine whether this happened in Florida or not.
I got to guess, but I don't know. I disagree with the wheel.
Well, the wheel is actually right.
No way.
Yes, this actually happened in Las Vegas.
Not in Florida. Wow.
Over last week. Once again, 2 ladies hiding important items.
Those are your people out there in Vegas, too.
No, these 2 people are definitely not my people. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up the live stream here in just a second. Once again, Jake, thank you so much for joining me.
Man.
Here in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to do some Marshall's Music News and give you the details on that Bon Jovi show coming to the brand new End Market Arena. More to come on the Marshall and Friends show here in Rock 106.1. All right.
That's wild.
She had $6,500 fall out of her vagina.
Fall out. Like, getting it in, sure. Falling out is the scary part.
It's awesome.
Jeez.
Sean says, y'all make it on the smoker.
I think that was probably talking to I have no idea what he's talking about.
Oh, I think they're talking about making that chili over there.
Oh, gotcha.
Casey's breakfast pizza for lunch. I do have at least one good coworker. Hell yeah, dude. I love that. Yeah. Holly, have a great day. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us here on the live stream. We surely do appreciate it. Tomorrow on the show, we are back 7 a.m. on the live stream, 6 o'clock on the air.
And by we, he means him because I'm going to be sleeping.
We'll see you next Monday.
Great.
But Stacey Scott of Hot 983 is going to be joining me inside the studio, so I expect to see all of you right back here. Gibby, have a good rest of your day.
Sorry again, Gibby. Love you.
You guys have a good rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow.